All right, guys, this is my first character breakdown for the first Descendant. I like to take my time and really learn the ins and outs of every character, learn how they work, what they're good at, what they're bad at. These videos will take me a long time to get out, guys, but I do hope one day to have one out for every single Descendant. Kyle being my first one, I'm very, very proud of the work that I put in, and I respect your guys' time. Normally, I don't do these intros. This is the only time I will do this intro. I just want to let y'all know that I really put the work in to learn this character and really go ahead and find out what makes him work, what makes him not work, what is he good at, what is he bad at, what needs some fixing, stuff like that. So if you guys can please just respect my time like I respect yours, and just drop me a like and a follow, guys, I would really appreciate that. It's completely free to you guys, man. I really appreciate that. This is the only intro you guys will really ever have to hear, man. And yeah, let's get into this Kyle breakdown. All right, guys, so we're over here in the training lab with Kyle. I'm gonna go ahead and break down his abilities for you guys. I'm not gonna go in there like everyone else and read them all off to you guys, because y'all can read. I'm just gonna explain to you exactly how they work, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and just so y'all can understand the character completely. And yeah, let's get into it. So Kyle's first ability, guys, is a shoulder charge. Boom. Just like the Titan from Destiny, he just shoulder charges in. It can hit multiple enemies. It charges up your magnetism meter at the bottom. We will get into the magnetism meter, but as you can see, it will charge up the magnetism depending on your shields. You get 3 charges of that. It's on a fairly small cooldown. If you want to spam it a little more, you need to put a cooldown. It does have like an internal cooldown, so you can't just chain them back to back. That's how that ability works. His second ability is fucking ass. I don't know, like, it's really bad, because in the end game, guys, you're never gonna have your shields up ever. They're pretty much always gonna be broken, and that is the biggest downside of Kyle, is he's a shield character, and shields are horrendous in this game. So basically, you're gonna put this shield up. As you hold this shield, it's gonna block damage. The more damage you block, the more of your magnetism will build up at the bottom. As you can see, this ability doesn't take mana. It is consuming my shield. So later on in the end game, when you have no shield, you will not be able to use the ability. That ability sucks, guys. We don't use it very often, if ever at all. His third ability is very good. So this ability will make you immune to damage. It will use your magnetism meter at the bottom while it's on. It's constantly going to go down, as well as if you get shot or hit, it's going to go down a little bit faster. You are completely immune to damage while this is up. So the more shield you have, the higher your magnetism bar, the more hits you can take while that's up. While it is up, it will be absorbing damage if you reactivate it, or if the time runs out, or if your shield or if your magnetism runs out at the bottom, it will explode like you just seen. So you can make it explode, you can reactivate it to explode it. That's how it works. Your other option is to activate it and then dash in and explode it. I do that very often. If I'm trying to like kill an enemy that's an elite or something, I'll dash in and boom, explode it just like that. You get a big boost of damage. Very good. You can also activate it and use your ult. Since your ult will deplete your whole magnetism bar, it will also explode, giving you an extra little bit of damage. Let's talk about the ult. So the ult will scale off of how much magnetism you have built up. You can only have the ult active while you have a certain amount of magnetism. While you have the magnetism built up, you jump in the air and fly just like that. That is going to do damage compared to your skill power and how much magnetism you have built up. Your magnetism scales with your shield. Let's talk about magnetism. Magnetism will go up depending on how much shield you have. If you have a lot of shield, your magnetism total bar will be higher, allowing your ultimate to hit harder and your 3 to absorb more damage. Those are really the only 2 good benefits of having shields on Kyle. If you do not plan to run the ultimate on Kyle, or plan to use his 3 to absorb a bunch of damage, having shields on Kyle is pointless. You can literally run a shieldless build and just use him as a tank to come around, take damage up, displace enemies. Like, he's really good, and your ult will still do a good amount of damage. So yeah, overall Kyle is super duper good at tanking, at end game content. I'll be running dungeons with him. I'll be carrying the homie in missions because he be dying. I gotta res him. He's really good at getting revives. You could pop your magnetism. You can even hold up your shield and revive. He's really good at just overall playing the game, but he's gonna need strong weapons. At bossing, Kyle is not that great. If I had to place him on a tier list, overall tier list, I would say Kyle is A tier. and that's pushing it, just because like all he really has is survivability and a nuke with his ult. But the ult does have some downsides. If you're in a room and there's a roof and you go to launch off with the ult, you will hit the roof and explode and use your ult. So you cannot use your ult anyway in enclosed spaces, which is fucking dumb. Using the ult against bosses is good. It's okay. It does give you a big chunk of damage, but you got to remember, as you're flying up in the sky using your magnetism meter, you're actually spending time that you could be shooting the boss, which takes away some of your DPS. So let's say your ult does 50 damage, but with your gun you could have done 25 damage in that one time period. Then your ult technically only did like 25 damage, so definitely not as good as it sounds or looks. I think the best way you could go is like, if you have a max crit build on him, a bunch of shields, and just go with like a tanky DPS fucking glass cannon build, maybe that'll be cool. But overall speaking, playing Kyle regularly, you're going to be wanting to use him to basically be in dungeons and just farm missions in the open world. The best missions Kyle is good at is the strategic outposts. He is a beast at that, and I will show you guys right now, just so we can break up the monotony of this guide, and I can show y'all how good he actually is at doing those strategic outposts. Let's go to Kingston. Nah, that one's never up. All right, we just landed in. Let me show y'all real quick how much time. I cannot explain to y'all how much time I have saved on Kyle by doing strategic outposts on him and just resetting them and farming them over and over. I just jump in with the tamer, and this is on hard mode, y'all. Just jump in with the tamer, blow up the 3 machines. Now, as you're doing this, you do want to build up a little bit of magnetism, so go ahead and bash somebody. As you can see, my shield's broke right there, but shields are so trash that my health is still really good. So now all the machines are broken. The boss will spawn. He's right there, and all I do is literally launch in the air and then just land near the boss, and boom, it's over. Just like that. You could get these done in like a few seconds with Kyle. Very, very good at strategic outposts, guys. Super duper good character at these. So that, I would say, that is probably his best missions that he is good at, that he kind of excels on more than most characters. But like, if you're just a DPS character and you can just walk up to everything and kill it anyway, yeah, Kyle's pretty much just a tank. So let's get into the builds and how to build Kyle, what I feel like is the baseline build for him, and what can be better, what you can adjust to make better. So for Kyle, I put a lot of work into this, y'all. I have not done any good builds for my weapons yet. My weapons kind of suck, but let me tell y'all how to build Kyle out. So this right here, if you guys want to just take a screenshot of this or just look at this, like this, I feel like is Kyle's baseline build. Like super duper good right here. A little bit of range is good on Kyle, just because you get a bigger explosion with his ult. You also get a bigger explosion with his 3. It also makes it easier to hit multiple people with his first ability. So having range on Kyle a little bit is not bad. Amplification control is like a perfect fit for Kyle. Weighing the scales, obviously max shield. Skill cost is actually going to reduce how much of your 3 is consumed when you're getting shot. There's also not that many max shield mods. This is one of the bigger ones, so we did smack that on. Of course, increased shield. Like I said, guys, you could run a build without shields, but obviously this is an all-around build. We want it to be good for tanking, good for DPS with the ult, all-around build. But I'll show you guys how to add more power to this exact build. You will need about 2 or 3 more formas. Next up, we got non-attribute master skill power and non-attribute skill power. He is a non-attribute character, and obviously more skill power, more power. All of his stuff scales off of skill power, everything. His first ability, we don't care about the shield. We can just act like that don't exist. His first ability, his third ability, and his fourth ability, they all scale off of skill power. Make sure you guys have a good amount of skill power on him. Next up, we're gonna go Spirit and Shield. This is gonna apply to our health. So once our shield breaks, which like I said, it's always gonna be broken, you're gonna need some defense. Now he does get defense when he shoulder bashes with his 1. Constantly, you want to be shoulder bashing, keeping that defense buff up. As long as that buff is up, you don't need to run the full defense mod, but you can if you want some extra tanky. I'll get into it. Increase health. We need health, like it is what it is. And then nimble fingers for skill cooldown. That's gonna give us the ultimate faster, the 1 faster. It's just overall gonna make our time playing Kyle a lot better. Now, if you added 3 or 2 more formas to this build, how would you make it stronger? Obviously, maxing out these mods. You have the option to either be more tanky by adding in increased defense or adding in sensory depth. This is going to give you incoming damage and reduce your MP. He doesn't have MP, so smack that on, or that if you want to be tankier. If you want to do more damage, you would slot in something like a focus on tech mod. That will give you way more cooldowns, way more damage. It'll make you so much stronger on Kyle, but I can't be bothered to put another forma on him. I've already put 1 or 2, and I just can't afford them no more. Like, I'm broke, so yeah, if you guys want to make him stronger, smack this on there with this build. That shit would be crazy. Now, if you guys want to go into a crit build, you can smack some crit on there. You can throw some extra range, but the main thing is getting this focus on tech on there will drastically improve your gameplay on Kyle, drastically. You can also come down here into Potent Collector right here. When defeating an enemy, instantly recovers 12.2% of custom resources at a 4% chance. This can fill up your magnetism meter without you even hitting anybody with your abilities, which will allow you to use your ultimate a little more often. It will allow you to use your 3 to tank a little more damage. You could even constantly have your 3 on, filling it up, shoulder bashing, killing. Potent Collector is something to look at, but obviously it's not going to be good against bosses. And I mainly prioritize bosses because trash mobs, I just shoot them with the tamer and they die. So there's also that. Iron Will is not a bad option on any character. Like I said, you will never have shields in the end game, so pretty much have plus 32% defense at all times. Your shields do not exist in end game. That is pretty much it for the builds. That's pretty much it for the whole guide on basically how Kyle works, what is good on him, what is bad on him. I know I left like a lot of specific things out, but in the end of it, like, the shorter the guide, the easier it is for you guys to consume it, the easier it is for you to just do it and get in the game and play. So that is how you play Kyle, guys. He's really, really good, super duper fun. You feel like fucking Iron Man on him. He's so cool. And let's just end this off by coming down here and shooting up these barrels. Ran out of ammo. Shooting up these barrels one more again. Y'all have a wonderful day, man. I hope this helped you guys out, man. Please leave me a like or a comment or a sub. I appreciate y'all. Peace out.